I smoked 5 cigarettes on average for over 12 years, costing me over 5 lakhs, my health, and delayed financial freedom. As I said in my previous video, personal finance is about the mindset. It's about taking control of your life and not just your wallet. Jim Rohn once said, "Your income rarely exceeds your personal development. You get paid as per the value you provide." So, the goal should be to become more valuable, and that can only happen by investing in yourself. The fastest way to change your net worth is to change your self worth. So, today I'm going to share a very personal story of addiction and winning over it. Hopefully, it will add value to your life. I never thought that I would ever talk about this aspect of my personal life on the internet, but I realized that it would be very selfish of me if I don't. I genuinely believe that we all have a moral responsibility toward the humanity to grow. And if you can motivate even 1% with your tiny little effort, then you have really succeeded being a human on this planet. So hit the like button, comment down below about your story, and subscribe to this channel. 12 years ago, back in 2013, when I first started working, my colleagues asked me, to my surprise, why I do not smoke, even though I'm working in corporate. I really didn't understand what they meant by that, but it didn't take too long for me to pick one up and light it up. The pressure and the surrounding are such that anybody could fall prey into these wrong things very easily. I didn't have any mentor or any guidance of any nature throughout my career. I had to figure out everything on my own in life, and that took a long time to understand even some basic stuff. And still, there are many such unresolved things that I would love to make peace with, hopefully very soon. I was young, naive, ambitious at heart, who didn't fear much. I had the zeal in me to explore. I was curious about the world. I don't belong from a rich family, so I never had this luxury of traveling that much. Had to start working soon after completing high school. As a matter of fact, even before that. My parents were very hardworking folks, and they tried to the best of their capabilities to provide whatever was needed for my betterment. Never held back from their responsibility toward me. And that's one thing that I'm really grateful and thankful for in life, to get such beautiful, amazing parents. My father had the habit of smoking cigarettes. I remember when I was really young, can't really recall what age it was around, but I was really young. Most probably I was in primary school or something like that. I asked my father, "Why do you smoke? It's bad for your health and you should quit." I said those things, and I was really, really young, maybe class 3 or class 4, something like that. Can't remember. It's kind of foggy. And I vaguely remember his response. He said, "It's because of the stress." Me being an innocent child at that time, I said, "I don't have any stress, so you shouldn't take any stress either, and stop smoking." So he smiled. Little did I understand how life works back then. I'm sure it was really funny for my father to even hear that from me at that age. My father did mention that he was introduced to smoking cigarettes by one of his friends. And since then, he was never able to quit, even though he tried to, he wanted to, but he was never really was successful at that. And most of us start smoking the same way, where someone introduces us to it. And while we think that we are in control, even though we are not, we keep lying to ourselves that we are in control, and even before you know it, you have become an addict to nicotine. I believe that your first teachers are your parents. School and college comes later, but I actually believe the foundation of your personality is something that is built at home by your parents. School and college come later, but the actual foundation of a child's personality is definitely shaped and built by parents at home. I'm not discarding the fact that schools, colleges, social media, society around us do have a huge influence on us. But despite that, if the foundation is right, you wouldn't fall off the track, no matter how serious the hurdles that you have to tackle. Making babies is a biological instinct, everyone can do that. But becoming a good parent, that's a skill that very few truly learn. When we scold kids for doing something wrong and we try to stop them from repeating it, you will notice that they will repeat it again and get scolded again. See, we as humans, we don't like to listen to denials. We don't like to hear no. So the same way kids do what they see, they mimic their parents. They don't do what they are told. So if you're going to the gym, you're fit, and you eat healthy and you don't have any bad habits, chances are likely that your kids will inculcate those good habits. And as I mentioned, once the basics are set right at an early age, no matter what comes across in life, people always fall back to their basics. It's like a life pattern. We will come to the financial aspect, don't worry, but it was very crucial for me to address these factors as well. Alright, so I started smoking regularly since 2014, I guess, if I'm not wrong, and in no time I became an addict. Although I thought that I was in control, I could leave it whenever I want to. But that never happened. After several years of smoking regularly, I was finally able to manage to quit for a brief length of around 6 months back in 2022. But then one of my smoker friend came to stay with me for a few days as he was looking for a job, and we used to live in two different cities at that time. So he came to my city where I was staying and he needed a place to stay. So I welcomed him. He was a good friend of mine back then, although I'm not in touch with him anymore for obvious reasons. And as you can understand, in just under a week of having him around, I fell back into that trap again. Although I was consciously reluctant to smoke again in the beginning, but it didn't take too long to pick up the habit again. And since then, in 2022, when I started smoking again, even after I was clean for 6 months and I was going good, it took me 3 years to quit again. I would really request you all to drop a comment down below if you ever struggled with any kind of habit like this, any addiction that you wanted to overcome. Let us know in the comment what is your story and inspire us. Alright, so continuing with the story. As they say, you are the sum of 5 people you hang out with. I cannot stress this enough. It's very important to have the right kind of people around you. And if you cannot find the right kind of people, then be alone rather. Well, now that's a bold statement. And for some people, it would be even impossible to even think of cutting off people from their life. Well, I understand, it's psychology. If you are in control of your mind, then I believe that you can do anything. Quitting cigarettes and cutting off people who are not serving any good, not adding to your life, is a piece of cake. Only when you start looking at life through a different lens, when you actually start respecting your body. I started looking at life through that different lens that I'm talking about, and I actually wanted to take control of my life. I didn't want to do anything impulsively but consciously. I realized that these dopamine hits from nicotine were getting to win, and I was losing. How shameful is that? I had to make a choice. So again, I decided that I will quit smoking cigarettes in 2023 before I turned 30 in 2024. But, I failed. I kept smoking and kept feeling guilty about it, that I'm not doing what I said I'll do. The struggle was intense, but it was not with anybody else but with my own self, with my own mind. I asked myself, if I cannot even win over this bad habit, can I really expect to win in life? But then I was finally able to quit successfully before I turned 31 this year, and without forcing myself, it came naturally. And I'll tell you how. You see, force doesn't work. One day, if you feel a bit weak, a bit unmotivated, you will go back to it. So I couldn't have done it forcefully, but rather it came to me naturally when I thought so much about it. I asked myself those questions while smoking. What is the need for smoking? Why am I doing this? Is it adding to my life or taking away? When I was able to answer those questions honestly, and I was able to get a clear picture of the situation, that's when the quitting was natural and not forceful. I was listening to Dr. Andrew Huberman, a PhD, a neuroscientist and tenured professor in the Department of Neurobiology and Ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine. I heard him talk about Dr. David Spiegel at Stanford School of Medicine, who designed a hypnosis program through which he is able to help people quit addictions like smoking. He says that that normally only 5% people can quit smoking successfully without any external help. But with this hypnosis program that he designed, he claims that the success rate is somewhere around 23%, which is way more than 5%, right? Almost 5 times more. That's amazing. So, as you can see, this is definitely a big win for me, a big achievement for me. And I definitely should be happy and proud about that. Many might think that it's silly to be happy and proud about it, but it really isn't. If you notice, then you will realize one thing, that your whole life is a struggle to make your life a little better than what it was yesterday. The fight and the competition are not with the outside world, but with your own self, own mind rather. And if you can win over yourself, then you can win in life for real. So you must celebrate the wins. You must give yourself a little credit for becoming a better individual. If people around you are not helping you grow in life and push you to become a better person, then you gotta rethink the relationship. You have to respect yourself to set the standards right. Now, coming to the financial aspect, if we do a rough calculation on how much I have spent so far on smoking, the number is mind-boggling. I used to smoke somewhere around 5 to 6 per day on average, and I used to buy those big packs of 20, and each pack cost rupees 340. So in a month I used to buy like 10 packs. That used to cost me 340 into 10, 3,400 rupees. So 3,400 rupees in a month multiplied by 12 months, that would be 40,800 rupees. And now if we calculate about last 12 years, 40,800 rupees in 1 year, so multiplied by 12 years, that would be somewhere around 4,89,600 rupees, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around close to 5 lakhs. Almost 5 lakhs on what? Smoking? If I would have invested this money instead, it would have helped me to be in a better financial condition sooner in life. Take control of your life. Sit in silence for a few minutes a day at least. Talk to yourself. Ask the right questions. What's my goal? What am I trying to achieve? What am I running after? How is it going to make my life any better? How do I plan on achieving it? And most importantly, will it make me a better person, a better individual? Will I be able to become a man of value? See, my thought of becoming a successful person comes from an itch in my mind of helping people. So I'm trying to do whatever I can. I know I'm flawed. I know that I'm not perfect at all. But I do know that I wish to learn. I wish to grow and improve as a person every day. And this YouTube channel is just a small effort towards helping, motivating and inspiring people to evolve into a better person overall, while I'm pursuing the same for myself. I welcome you all to join me in this journey. Let's become a better individual for the betterment of our society and for the entire humanity. So that's it for today. I'll see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Until then, protect your mind, respect your time, and build the life that you know that you're capable of. Your future self is counting on you.